Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another installment of Show to View with Mike G, the show of life, the show of tradition, the show of lobster fishing and Laphroaig. Let's just consider it Laphroaig week here at the show. Today's guest is the amazing distillery manager, master distiller, the guy who does it all, Mr. John Campbell of Laphroaig. He was recently in town pairing some brisket with some peated scotches. Those Laphroaig marks are incredible. I am always going back to sip on lore, and we had a chance to sit down and talk about his life and what Laphroaig has meant to this gentleman who's lived on Islay his entire life. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this great chat with John Campbell of Laphroaig.
Known him for 13, 14 years. So
Really?
Yep, we've done events all around the US for that amount of time, and just an amazing guy. Amazing, really passionate about what he does. Really loves the brand and loves what he does and loves educating.
He loves the crowd too, I reckon.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
He does, right?
He gets a kick out of that, and no, it can be amazing sometimes.
Yeah,
absolutely amazing.
He, that was one of the things I thought was really cool because I didn't realize he was an actor.
Yes.
And his delivery of the toast,
yes,
is like a Sir Laurence Olivier soliloquy. It's beautiful, right? The way he does this stuff. But as a fisherman from Islay, born and raised, does this come naturally to you to, in a sense, perform on stage?
I don't see it as performing. I just see it as doing what I do.
Yeah.
The whiskey talks for itself, and it's all about the whiskey. It's not. I would say it's not about me.
Yeah.
But I realise that people want to hear from me, and people want to hear stories from me, anecdotes from me about the brand, just what I do, how I create whiskies, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So I try and impart my character onto that, and
because there's the work in the lab, right? So at the distillery, there's work to be done and the strategy there, but then there's also this social element. Do you prefer one over the other, being on the road or being in the distillery?
No, I like the contrast, and I like the scope. I like it's to me it's hugely important to speak to consumers.
Yeah.
In lots of ways, it's good fun. You meet just so many cool people, doing amazing things in their own lives as well. So. I think the social interaction I do like. Putting myself out there is probably I can do it, and sometimes it comes naturally, but not all the time. I would say I'm kind of more reserved than Simon might be as well, and so it sometimes it just happens though. I don't know what it's like. It depends. I'm kind of like a mirror, I guess. I feed off the crowd in front of me.
It's a good thing, right? It's kind of like a volley in tennis. A serve, you serve back.
Yeah,
that's kind of what gives you some energy, right?
Yeah, no, and if I feel the audience want that, and it's different every country you go to as well. So, of course, in the US, you generally will get more energy, and in maybe somewhere like Germany, they'll just want data. They don't want jokes,
like that, right?
They don't want fun, they don't want to be entertained, they just want data and technical data, and that's how they feel. So everywhere's different. We're all unique in our own ways, I guess.
So when you go back to thinking about your skill set, your talents,
Yep.
Are numbers better for you, or is the message and connecting with people, is that something you're better at?
Oh,
Tough?
no. Numbers are important, but like, I'd rather connect with people.
Yeah. It's a little bit
Definitely.
warmer, right?
Yeah, and it's more rewarding. Numbers are important, and we need to make sure we are fiscally responsible. But like
Yeah.
that's not fun.
It's not. Well, and you don't.
Sitting down and having a dram with 10-year-old with somebody who loves Laphroaig as much
Sure.
as you do. That's fun.
Yeah. I mean, when's the last time you enjoyed drinking a Laphroaig, working out a spreadsheet? It's not quite the same.
No, it's more after you've done a spreadsheet, you've a Laphroaig, innit? Yeah.
A little bit laborious, a little bit taking
Yeah.
the piss out. Yeah.
No, yep.
Well, you know, one of the things, and I've had the privilege of interviewing many of the folks in Islay. Alan Logan comes to mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? We're really,
Yeah.
really good dude.
Yep,
And,
absolutely.
you know, he waited for an opportunity to work at a distillery. Is that a rite of passage in Islay? Is that the ultimate role? Because there are a few thousand people in Islay. It's not a massive place.
No, that's true.
Is that the ultimate gig, what one would hope for and strive for, to work at a distillery?
Yeah, if you don't want to leave the island. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, no, and it's just an amazing thing. It's a very rewarding thing in so many ways for so many people on the island. And just the reach of these brands, people see that. They see these people coming from all around the world to
Yeah.
their island, and it's amazing. It's just a powerful thing. It's a very
It is.
powerful thing.
Well,
Yeah.
to think that there's no other place in the world that tastes like this. You know, that's a truly romantic thing and a truly remarkable thing. You could try to make there's lots of peated whiskey in North America, which is lovely,
Yep.
but it will never ever taste the same as it does in Islay.
No, and Isla's got its own cachet, definitely. Probably something we've all worked hard on as well, as an island as much as anything else.
Yeah.
So, when you come to the island, people should be very similar. I mean, yeah, it's people, so you will have variances in behaviour, but generally everyone is so welcoming and so open and really nice on Islay, I feel, as well.
Everybody I've met, all the folks from Brookladdy, Ardbeg, Dr. Bill, one of my favorite people, right? As you a cheeky guy, you know, and
Yeah, I know him well. Yeah,
it's such a loving, accepting community of people.
absolutely. It's a huge industry, but it's a small industry, and
Yeah.
everyone kind of knows everyone. And I know all these people you're talking about. They'll know me, and it's a family. It's very much kind of feels like a family.
Which I think is really important, because then the whiskey's better.
It's all about whiskey. You talk about people, and you talk about regions, and you talk about that, but for deep down, for all of us, it's about supporting each other,
Mm-hmm.
and that really doesn't happen in many industries that I can think of. And I kind of remember one of the first conversations I had with a very kind of senior guy, Jim McEwen,
Mm-hmm.
and he came to me and he says, "Look, John, Laphroaig comes first, no doubt. Islay comes second, Scotland is third."
Wow.
And that's just the way it is, he says.
Yeah, that's amazing.
No, and it is true, and that's kind of what I've passed down to people as well. And it's just like, yeah, your own brand is important, but you don't put down another brand to get a sale of your brand. You up your brand, and you up the industry, and you up Islay, and you up Scotland.
Rising tides raises all ships, right?
Yeah,
That kind of
absolutely.
philosophy.
That's exactly how the industry works.
Because I've definitely noticed that with Islay, but there are other industries, as like agave, for instance, which I won't know specifics, but I've noticed there's very much an absence of camaraderie.
Is there?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
very, very interesting and a stark contrast.
No, and if you take that attitude in our industry, generally you won't last long.
Perfect. Exactly.
No,
It
the
takes us
greater
all.
good that we've got, and it's it's the greater good is always the most important.
Yeah, agreed.
Be nice if the world took that attitude just now as well.
I mean, wouldn't that be nice if it was Islay out? Everybody learned from Islay and
well,
the familiar feelings.
yes, yeah, no, yes, but I think you just have to be who you are. So
Yeah.
if you're a Macallan or a Glenlivet, you just are who you are.
Yeah.
And they're amazing whiskies too. I think Islay is just what Islay is. A lot of people love that flavour. And a lot of people now all over the industry do peated whiskey because of Islay's success
Right.
as well. Yeah.
If anything, it's, what is it? Imitation is the sincerest form of
The
flattery.
yeah, that's right.
Which is
Yeah.
not a bad place to be.
No, it's good. And it's the industry itself's in a great place just now, so
Yeah.
that's good.
So for you, Islay native, born and raised, what kind of upbringing? So what did your folks do? What kinds of industries were they in the whiskey industry as well?
No. My mum worked in the school as a kitchen assistant,
Mm-hmm.
and my dad was a farmer. So
Oh, what crops? Barley or
no
dairy?
sheep
Sheep?
farmer.
Yeah.
So yeah, he did sheep farming. So
What's the word for the sheep herders?
shepherd.
There we go.
Yeah,
That's
shepherd.
a very noble profession.
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah,
he-
and it's kind of there's probably three main professions on Islay. You've got farming, you've got whiskey,
Yeah.
and then you've got fishing. So fishing mainly for shellfish as
Yeah.
well.
Of course, lobster in your case, right?
Lobster, crab, or scallop.
Do you do langoustines there too?
Yes.
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 Just a beautiful.
Yeah, it's
Beautiful
all all sorts of shellfish.
Yeah. So, did you ever get? I grew up in a lot of different towns.
Okay.
My father moved. We moved a lot because of his work,
Yep.
and a lot of people that military and stuff. The same kind of thing.
Yes.
Islay's not big. There aren't a whole lot of people compared
No.
to, let's just say, Austin.
No.
Did you ever get the wanderlust to go travel and to go explore, just so you could sow those oats?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like to travel. I do like to see everything else. I've still got so much I need to see and do around this planet. But no, Islay is pretty. It
was very
it's up.
satisfying
No,
place.
it is. It's up there with just any place I've ever been or seen. And for example, we're in Austin. Austin's really cool. I really like Austin. And I really like Seattle in the US.
yeah.
They're just different. They're very, very different to most US cities. And I like being in them. And that's no disrespect to the other cities.
No,
It's just
of course.
that's just the ones I prefer. It suits me and kind of the things I like. I probably like a wee bit more. It'll be definitely more cultural in
Yeah.
Austin. And then Seattle is just more kind of outdoorsy. So
Well, very similar weather to some extent, right?
yeah,
It's kind of grey, a
Well,
little
it's
rainy.
kinda-
Well, today it's
yeah,
exactly
Austin.
like that in Austin.
Yeah, it's warmer in Scotland than in Austin today.
First day we've had in the 50s for months,
Yeah.
No,
No.
So you feel right
No,
at
every
home.
day's in the 50s in
Yes.
Scotland. Yeah. So
In a way,
no.
I'm envious, but it's difficult.
No, it's like I like the heat as well. But no, it's always good to travel. It's always good to learn. I feel that anyway, and it's good to keep your mind open
Yeah.
and be open to new experiences.
In this past over 25 years now with Laphroaig, do you feel you're in a different place than when you started?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, experience is an amazing thing. If only you could have it when you're 20.
That's right.
But yeah, no, you've learned over the last 25 years. So hopefully a more rounded individual and just a more rounded person, a more rounded colleague,
Yeah.
work colleague, all these things. So hopefully improving,
Yeah.
certainly less mistakes.
Do you family man? Do you
Yes,
have
Yep.
children? In the,
4 boys.
Oh wow. How hard is it leaving them behind when you're
Yeah.
going to travel?
It is undoubtedly it is, but it's something you have to do.
Right.
It's just, it goes with the territory. If you're going to become a distillery manager, if you're going to sign in that line, you have to do a bit of travelling.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it is. It goes with the territory.
And
So-
four boys is enough to take care of a household too. That's a lot.
Yeah,
of boys.
well, yes. Should be. Boys are lazy though.
They can be.
They can be lazy.
That's true.
So like, yeah. So yeah. No, they're good kids. Good kids. I'm lucky. I'm
Yeah.
lucky as well.
So this opportunity, if I understand it, you're 24, 25, something like that. The opportunity to work for a distillery comes about as you were fishing, a fisherman.
Yes.
Was
No, that's correct. Yeah, 24. Yeah.
24, I think, right?
Yep.
Is that just like a mind-blowing thing? You said, no, I have to take it. No matter what, I've got to go work at this distillery.
It was targeted by me really.
Yeah.
So I was making nice money as a lobster fisherman. I was doing well, and then had to basically attempt to get a mortgage. I wanted to buy a house, so went to the bank and they says, nope, you'll need to get a steady job. So the only way to get a steady job was to go to work in a distillery. So
One of the most steady industries in the whole island, right?
yes, no, absolutely. Probably most secure. Regular payments was the thing the bank manager wanted.
Yeah.
So took a pay cut of half, went to work in Laphroaig, and then through just different times, people kept trusting me. People kept giving me more responsibility, and before you know it, just under 12 years later, I'm the distiller.
Man, it's a pretty interesting journey.
Yeah,
Pretty quick too.
yeah, no, and I was the assistant distiller for a long time as well. So I got to be an assistant distiller within 5 years, really quick.
Oh,
and
wow.
then took me a further 6 to get to be the distillery manager or
Well, when you
master distiller.
When you started, because we're talking just over 25. It's like more like 27 years ago now, something like that.
No,
25.
yep.
So
so
then
just-
into 1994, is that correct?
Yep.
I'm not so good at math.
Yes, November 94.
but yeah.
And then August 99, distillery manager.
Oh, there you go.
And then January 2006.
What was, because now we know Laphroaig as one of the greatest whiskeys in the world,
Yep.
and it's had plenty of press in a different kind of way
Yes.
about peat and stuff. But at that time, what did you see the reception of globally for Laphroaig? What kind of brand was it to you?
I think it's a lot of what people see now. It stays true to itself. It is what it is. Laphroaig is very. It's an old brand. It's been a single malt for a long time. It knows who it is. It's comfy when it's shoes.
Yeah.
It's welcoming. It's friendly. I would say as well, and it's I don't know. It's kind of like your grandpa. It's just it
Yeah.
knows who it is. Comfy in its shoes, and yep, bring it on.
You want to sit at the pub with it and just have a
Yeah.
chat, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
yeah,
Always been that kind of thing.
yeah. No, I would say so. That's how Laphroaig feels to me, and I think that's how it feels to consumers as well.
I think so.
Yep.
So, I love peat, and in fact, the applications of peat are, and there's so many of them. And today, of course, you're in Austin, you're in Texas, and we have peat smoked brisket. Makes perfect sense. How do you feel about that? Seeing it and tasting it in a different way? This fundamental flavor of the whiskey you make.
No, it was really tasty. It was really tasty, and really good to do. And it must have confused the. Is it the pit master?
Yeah, the pitmaster.
So yeah, no, it must have confused him, but he should be delighted with his work.
Wonderful result.
Yeah,
In the
unbelievable.
good
unbelievable.
salt with the. I mean, this really was something that I'm gonna say. That's what I'm saying. This was the last meal of the day. I don't need anything after this.
Yes,
This is so
no, that's
very
true.
rewarding.
Yep.
Well, what do you think about? So this brisket was delicious, but what do you think about people capitalizing on people's reactions, and sometimes unfavorable reactions to peat? Because you know what I'm talking about. There's
Yeah.
plenty of videos. I've embraced it, and I quite love the flavor of it. All the Islay distilleries. But how do you feel about that when people are like, "Oh, peat is just a joke. Peat is just this thing that no one likes. It's just smoke."
Yeah, well, everyone's different. We're all made of the same materials. we're all different. We embrace that, and if you've ever seen our Opinions Welcome campaign, we actually promote it.
Yeah.
That you don't need to like us. We are who we are. As I said, we're comfy in our shoes.
Mm-hmm.
We amuse the people that do drink Laphroaig with these adverts as well.
Yeah.
So
you take it, you basically take it as power. In a
yeah,
sense,
well,
right?
it's just like it is what it is.
Yeah.
Not everyone will like Laphroaig. It's a strong flavour, so it's gonna evoke emotion or opinion in people. So it's just one of those things. It's not everyone's gonna like it.
Yeah.
Not everyone likes too much flavour or like concentrated flavour.
You know, I once heard Mr. Dan Kroll, who worked for Ardbeg for a long time, really good friend of mine, and he said, you know, the reason people don't like peat is because our bodies are not programmed to allow you to ingest it. It is a poison or something. It's something that we reject. And so once you can get past that reflex of saying, no, not for me, this is burnt or whatever, then you truly get to experience the beauty of peat. For you, was that ever a problem, or was peated whiskey always something that was just second nature for you?
Yeah, no, it's second nature. I would say. Wouldn't say that it was. I always knew about it and always understood it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't say that it was easy at the beginning either for me,
Mm-hmm.
and for my personal experience. But yeah, no, it's become. It's just become part of. It's not. It's funny to think of it like this.
It is,
actually.
right? Like,
Yeah.
going, I don't know, going back,
Yeah.
for you to be a little longer, let's say like 30 years.
Yeah.
You know, was
Yeah,
it something that we could really comprehend the way we
No,
can now?
I understood it. Maybe didn't fully appreciate it, I guess,
Yeah.
is the best way in my early 20s. But now it's just like, it's just something I need in a drink. It's just, it's something that I don't even think about. It's just require it.
Do you watch movies often?
Yeah, no, sometimes I can, yep.
Have you ever seen No Country for Old Men? Tommy Lee Jones?
Yeah, I think so, yep.
Once you first watch, this could be many movies, but once you watch it one time, and you're like, I'm scratching my head over here, right? Like, I don't get it. It's not connecting with me. You watch it a second time, and you're like, yeah, no, it's better. The third time, you're like, oh, now I get it. This makes sense. And for me, peat is a slow burn. You have to be introduced to it just a little bit at a time, but then once you kind of get it, it is intensely rewarding.
That's probably the way it worked for me too, as well. It would be the slow burner.
The slow
But
burner.
yeah, I understood it, and I knew it was going to taste that way, so I was ready,
Yeah.
at least. But it was still like, no, need to go back, just try. So yeah, no, good.
With the four boys, is there any expectation that they will continue the tradition of whiskey making?
It's not so easy in the UK. You've got like, there's laws against you actually employing.
Oh, is
your
that
own-
right?
Yeah.
Oh, I
so-
didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's conflict of interest laws. So it's not so easy for my sons to follow in my footsteps.
Really?
So yeah. So if I basically employed my son, then it would be seen as conflicting the interest. So
Oh, I had no
yeah,
idea.
we're very proper in the UK with our laws.
Which is good and bad. We're pretty improper here in the States,
Wow.
but we get some things right now and again.
Well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So I'm based in the UK. I have to follow the UK laws.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's very,
It's,
very
it's
eye-opening.
easier to employ somebody else than one of my sons.
Wow. So thinking about the lineup that we tasted today, we tasted Quarter Cask, we tasted Lore, which to me is one of the greatest achievements yet, and a permanent addition to the line. Favorite's not the right question to ask you, but does Lore, to me, it feels like a really big accomplishment of balance and age and all of the diversity that you can get through any of the individual Laphroaig marks. Is that kind of intentional? That it's like the all-in-one Laphroaig, if you could?
Yes, it probably is, but just through a different angle. So we wanted to make a really rich Laphroaig, one really full of flavour, and just slightly with slightly older whiskies. So, yes, I feel it's worked out well. Also, I'm really happy with how that's done. And just the way it's been received as well, because Lord was originally just going to be a stopgap for 3 or 4 years.
That's what I was on. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's pretty popular. So,
I mean,
I think it would be. You never know, but I think it would be folly to take it away.
I mean, people are cheering. You know, they expect to hear that one song when you're playing live. You got to play the hits.
No, that's true.
You know,
that's true.
and I think
Yeah,
Laura's become
absolutely.
a hit in the portfolio for sure.
Okay. Yep. No, I understand that.
Yeah.
Yep, understand that.
And then every year,
Yep.
Carriages or Carches?
Carches.
Carches.
Carches. Yeah.
This year is. What is this year's release? I had it the other day, but I can't
It's a
remember.
cask strength triple wood.
There we go.
Yep.
Does
Yeah,
that
it's
give you? Do you feel like you get a little bit of chance to be creative every year? When kind of like last year was Fino, which is a really interesting flavor profile with peat.
Yeah, no, it's completely different every year. Normally, my job is keeping everything right and following the rules, following the standards for the 10, the quarter, lower. Once you've created that recipe, you repeat.
Of course, yeah.
So with Carches, there's not been a repeat at all. So it allows us to show just Laphroaig from different angles, introduce different flavours, different ages, different cask types. So, and people generally love that. And it has been very popular so far. It's somewhat limited, roughly just over 30,000 bottles produced per annum. So it's a smaller batch, maybe about 80 to 100 barrels in the batch. So yeah, no, I'm generally happy with how it turns out. There's probably the one I worry about the most, just because it's going to be different. And
people are going to be really focused on it too.
yeah,
right?
no, absolutely. It's one of our biggest marketing events of the year from a business point of view as well. The annual release, so it has to be right. It has to be right. Yeah.
Does it at least give you, when you make the same thing, because you have to, to your point, consistency is really key in the 10-year lore and all of that.
Yep.
And having this one-off chance to kind of create something from scratch in a sense, do you thrive on that too, the ability to create new things, or is it?
No, absolutely. I think I do. I think I can be quite creative as well. Probably more and more with experience as well. Once I know Laphroaig now just like the back of my hand. I know everything and all the things that makes it tick.
Yeah.
What doesn't make it tick. What we need to do. How it can be in a lot of ways as well now. That's the good thing this experience gives you.
Yeah.
But as much in life as in whiskey, you just learn how to manage things better.
Absolutely.
The older you get. Yeah.
So I've got a couple questions left for you. You know, the folks that come in from Islay, like I said, the guys from Adam came in from Brookladdy.
Yep.
Alan came in. Dr. Bill came in.
Yeah.
I've had just a fucking hoot, to be honest, like hanging out with these guys and being able to sip this whiskey with the creators and everything, you know? But thinking about you as someone, thinking that, I ask this question of all my guests, and
Yep.
let's say you're drinking Laphroaig lore.
Yes.
We're anywhere in the world, doesn't matter.
Okay.
And you can have a conversation with anybody, living or deceased. Who might you like to just sit down and have a conversation with?
Oh,
It changes from season to season, day to day. So
probably.
it definitely does.
Oh, I don't know. That's hard. I'm probably going to go with my grandfather.
Yeah?
Yeah, I knew him, but he left too soon. So I want to know more about him. I want to just have a conversation with him.
Share a dram too?
Yeah, no, and it's. I kind of did think about maybe inspirational people and who that, but no, it probably turns down to family. I think
Comes
for me,
down to family.
that's the fuel that keeps me going. So that's the stuff I would want to know.
Yeah. Was your father a Scotch fan? Was?
Yes, no, he worked. My grandfather and my father both worked at Laphroaig
Oh, is that right?
as well for a short period. My dad hated it.
Yeah.
Absolutely hated it. Just not for him
Yeah.
at all. My grandfather stayed there for a while, and I've probably stayed the longest out of the three of us. So yeah, no, we've got the three generations. So yeah, just that's the guy I'd want to speak to
Yeah.
over a whiskey.
It's incredible. So I know you've got more events. You guys arrived about 5 hours late last night, so of course you got to make that time up here.
Yeah,
in
no,
town.
we're trying our hardest.
Just, when you were doing very well. How was the class last night? It's
Yeah, it was
really
good,
nice.
good. Their biggest ever, seemingly. So
Yeah.
that was good. So yeah, no, and great welcome in Austin as well.
Yeah.
Great welcome. People really friendly, really want to know and want to learn. So that's amazing for me.
Absolutely. This will be the last question for you, but knowing that it was a massive gathering of people, defying all odds in a sense, because Laphroaig is popular among peated whiskeys, but to know that so many people can kind of be bonded together. Do you have a sense of pride in the fact that in whatever capacity, in whatever little way you helped bring these people together? It's like self-reflection in a sense.
Yeah, no, it is. And so the cogs are turning pretty hard inside the brain just now. I've never actually thought of it like that, but it does. But it's brought us together right now.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for whiskey, we wouldn't be talking
Yeah.
today. So whiskey makes everything better.
Yeah.
And
certainly
maybe it's a family and an extended family, and I've met so many amazing people all around the world through whiskey. It's amazing. It is. And I don't know, even people that maybe can't drink Laphroaig know Laphroaig and still respect Laphroaig as well. So just for because it is what it is. So, and it's true to what it is. So I think, it's the power of whiskey is an amazing thing.
It is.
It is. It's an amazing thing.
And all we can do is keep marching forward and keep talking about it, keep drinking, and keep being passionate.
Yeah, because it won't stop. So we shouldn't either, and we should be supporting it, manage it, and making sure that it's delivered correctly as well. It's just so that the next generation take as care of it as we have.
Mm-hmm.
So that's important too.
3 generations in, I'm 1. I'll work on a 2nd if you work on a 4th.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying my hardest. I've got 4 boys, so.
John, it's been just a pleasure chatting with you.
Yeah, no,
man.
absolutely. Great to chat.
Thanks so much for taking the time out, and Godspeed on the rest of your travels here.
Okay, thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers, Mike.
So there we have it, Mr. John Campbell. What do you guys think? You talk about tradition, humility, a man who knows everything about the production of Laphroaig, and sharing great dram with him. What a pleasure, and I hope to see more people drinking peated Scotch. I hope to see people drinking more Laphroaig. So thanks everybody for listening to Show to V with Mike G. No matter which peated dram you're thinking of sipping next, might I suggest an older Laphroaig, how they so mellow out with age, or if you're thinking today might be just a little too busy to get everything done, please keep dancing.